That this fire is burning close to a number of homes. Well, it's also burning very dangerously close to power transmission lines. You can see those off into the distance there. You can see those flames continuing to burn tonight. 1,000 acres, still no containment at this point. This is also burning dangerously close along the Wildcat Fire burn scar. That fire from back in May scorched more than 14,000 acres in this same area. Let's show you some video from earlier this evening. Fire crews, as we mentioned, busy battling this fire from the air and on the ground as well. We saw several aircraft dropping fire retardant to try to suppress that fire. In just the last few hours, Arizona Fire and Forestry Management telling 12 News that 5 homes close to where this fire first sparked were evacuated. But tonight, we've learned as many as 50 different homes and structures now in the path of these flames and are now being threatened as this fire continues to move southeast near the Vista Verde community. As we mentioned, transmission lines also in the path of that fire. We have seen crews from AEP also out here on scene as well. As we mentioned, we talked with one couple who lives in that community who says it's going to be an uneasy night for them knowing this fire is still burning. But I'm sure it's going to be a little uneasy tonight trying to go to sleep knowing the fact it's still burning.
That's the part that we're worried about, is trying to get some sleep tonight, worrying about this being like right across the street here.
That's why we came out here to see kind of how far it is, you know.
Are you guys prepared to, kind of get out of Dodge if need be?
Yeah, if we have to leave, we'll definitely pack up real quick and leave. I mean, since we just moved in, it'll be kind of easy.
Crews from Arizona Forestry and U.S. Forest Service are working together on this fire as well. Coming up tonight on 12 News at 10 o'clock, it has been a very busy fire season here at Tonto National Forest. A number of fires have burned here in just the last 60 days. Coming up at 10 o'clock, we'll let you know just how many acres have burned from all of those fires. We're live tonight in North Scottsdale. Jonathan McCall, 12 News.
Okay, Jonathan, thanks. Let's get right to our weather impact forecast for the Boulderview fire as we check in with meteorologist Lindsay Riley.
And Lindsay, what kind of conditions are crews up against?
Very warm conditions. We did not see any rain across the valley today. The relative humidity is still very low despite the fact that it feels more humid. Earlier, we had 25-mile-per-hour gusts. Those wind gusts are finally starting to die down, but they're going to pick right back up again tomorrow. Here's the hour by hour on those fire lines. We'll drop below 100 finally by 11 o'clock tonight, but temperatures on the fire lines will remain in the 90s throughout the overnight. And tomorrow at 8 a.m. already, we'll be at 94. And by 11 a.m., we're already up to 100. Again, no rain for the day tomorrow. Wind speeds generally light out of the southwest, 5 to 15 miles per hour. A couple higher gusts will be possible. But you can see our relative humidity right now is at 20%. So it's extremely low, even though it may feel a little bit more humid due to the dew points that have risen. Here's a look at those wind speeds right now. 10-mile-an-hour breeze here in Phoenix, seeing much of the same right in North Scottsdale. Again, some gustier winds will be possible, but we're not tracking any rain chances for the next several days here in the valley. Now up in the high country, we did have some monsoon moisture today. What is left of it is north of I-40, mainly across the Navajo Nation. Nothing severe at the present time, not anticipating anything to become severe, but we'll have to wait until next week for more monsoon moisture, at least higher percentages, to go up again for the 4th of July. Caribe?
All right, Lindsay, thank you. We are now just 28 days away from the 2024 Summer Games in Paris, and 12 News is your official Olympic station.
And just a few minutes ago, a few more athletes earned their spot on Team USA, joining dozens of others who've already qualified. Tonight, you'll get to meet a couple of those athletes who call Arizona home.
Reagan Smith's love of swimming started when she was just 7, growing up in Minnesota, watching her older sister Brenna swim competitively.
I always credit it to my sister because I don't think I would have wanted to compete had she not been competing.
And did she? In 2019, Smith took the swimming world by storm, shattering world records in the 100 and 200 meter backstroke. But ironically,
and ever since then, I really struggled with pressure. and I felt like I couldn't back up those performances, and I was never going to be that person again, and I was never going to reach that level again. And I feel like I just crumbled under that pressure.
Then the pandemic hit, and everything was put on hold for a year.
And I don't think I was the swimmer that I could have been in Tokyo.
Smith still went on to win 3 medals at the Tokyo Olympics, 2 silvers and 1 bronze. A year later, at the 2022 World Aquatics Championships, despite winning 2 gold medals, she missed the podium twice. Smith hit a low point again.
I didn't have the confidence in myself. I didn't feel like I was the swimmer that I was when I broke those world records.
So Smith left her dream college of Stanford and arrived at Arizona State University. And it was there where her life took a 180.
And I've gained all this life experience, and I'm just in a place now where I feel like it's really helping me develop a sense of confidence and strength in swimming and belief in myself.
And a new perspective on life, sports, and competing.
What I'm doing is difficult, but ultimately, this is a choice, what I'm doing, and this is a privilege.
Her coach, legendary Bob Bowman, who trained the world's greatest swimmer, Michael Phelps.
He knows a lot, not only about swimming, but about the way that people work and the way that different people respond to discipline and reinforcement.
In April, Bowman left Arizona State and went to the University of Texas to be the director of swimming and diving. Smith followed him there, but is still taking online classes at Arizona State. And this summer?
So once I get to Paris, it's okay, well, the work is done. Now it's time to shut everything off up here and just go into autopilot and do what I need to do.
To win gold.
I do. I feel more ready for this summer than I think I have for any other meet in my life. And I just feel like I'm in a much better place mentally.
Tram I 12 News.
All right, Tram, thank you. And the U.S. swim trials just wrapped up in Indianapolis, and Reagan Smith is definitely back better than ever. She broke the world record in the women's 100-meter backstroke, securing her spot on Team USA. Well, now we want to introduce you to the South African swimmer who beat Michael Phelps. 12 News journalist Rachel Cole reports from the Phoenix Swim Club in Paradise Valley, where Darian Townsend is now coaching athletes who no doubt admire his accomplishments.
This swimmer is a proud University of Arizona grad who now calls the Valley home, working alongside athletes looking to break records just as he did in past Olympic Games.
Young swimmers staring at the shiny medal.
This is rare. You don't get to see one of these much. There's very few of them in the world if you think about the size of the world and how many people get to win one of these.
Admiring head coach Darian Townsend's Olympic gold from the 4x100 freestyle relay in the 2004 Athens Games.
To be able to go to Olympic Games, first race, world record, gold medal, it couldn't have gotten any better.
Going on to break the world record set by Team USA's Ryan Lochte in the 200 meters at the World Cup in Berlin in 2009.
Knowing that your team has gone the fastest in history, that's quite something. And I've always been obsessed with records, world records.
The South African swimmer not stopping there in his lane to success.
We were obviously wanting to win the race, and whoever was in front of us was on our list to beat. And he just happened to be one of the guys on the team next to us.
Finishing second behind the University of Arizona grad was an American swimmer named Michael Phelps.
How often are people asking you about what it feels like to beat Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympian of all time?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, Michael is a fantastic athlete. He is the greatest swimmer that we've seen, at least in my lifetime. To beat him at any point in his career is something huge.
While Darian is proud of his achievements and beating the best swimmer of all time, his priority now is his athletes.
I'm super passionate about it. Have a lot of fun coaching. It's not really a job to me when I'm on the deck and I'm coaching the kids, so it's a lot of fun.
Some of the best success I've had as a swimmer is kind of just the one-on-one coaching I've been able to have.
Just words of encouragement and to know that even if you're not doing your best, it's okay, and it's just the effort that matters, and it's a good thing that you showed up in the first place.
Swimmers like Teddy and Danielle praising coaches' approach to their skills in the pool.
Especially on, when I'm having bad days or something, I always look for some reassurance.
It's the effort that really counts sometimes, if you're really struggling with the day.
All right, guys, hey, we're going to start with the 500 swim.
Loving training future Olympians right here in Arizona.
Arizona is a great state. It's a little warm in the summer, but I think I chose the right sport, for the heat. But year-round, it's just a great place to swim. It's a great place for my profession, and in my opinion, a great place to raise a family. And so, yeah, I call it home now.
For more details on Darian's career and more athletes with ties to Arizona, just visit our website, 12news.com. We'll send it back to you from the Phoenix Swim Club in Paradise Valley.
Okay, Rachel, now to skateboarding and what will be the most important 45 seconds of a Valley Olympian's life. That's all the time that Paige Hine will have to prove that she is the best in the world. Even though Paige has been skateboarding for years, this will only be the second time that the sport of skateboarding has been featured. 12 News journalist Justin Pizzera sat down with Paige before she took off for Paris.
This is from Switzerland. It was my first time getting third place in an Olympic qualifying event.
Paige Hine already has a lot to show for her relatively short but incredibly successful career on a skateboard. She's only 16, but she's racked up the awards and is considered one of the best in her sport. Paige has been skateboarding most of her life. At 4 years old, her uncle gave her her first board as a gift. She started skating in her neighborhood, and then when she was 8, she signed up for lessons at KTR, an indoor skate park in the valley. It wasn't long until people started to notice she's really good.
Everyone would always, random people at the skate park would be like, oh wow, you're really good. Like, how old are you? I'm like, oh, I'm 8, 9. They're like, oh, what?
Paige kept getting better and started entering local competitions and winning. Then the competition started getting bigger and farther from Arizona. It really didn't set in that she was that good until 2019.
I got invited to a world championship in Sao Paulo, Brazil in 2019. And that's when I was like, oh wait, this is big, this is really happening. I should focus on it a little more since it might take me somewhere.
That somewhere is the 2024 Olympics in Paris. Paige recently qualified for Team USA. She is one of the youngest Olympians representing the U.S. this year, but her Olympic dreams almost didn't come true.
Back in December, Paige thought it was game over. She fractured her ankle during a competition in Tokyo. She went into rehab, and just a mere 3 months later, she was back on the board, learning to skate again.
It was really hard mentally to get through all of that. It was super bummed. It was at the end of the year, just had a great year, doing so good in the contest. And then in the contest, I fractured my ankle, and it was just so sad.
Paige is healed up now and is ready for Paris. During the games, she'll be judged on her most impressive tricks that meet the criteria for difficulty, speed, and range of moves. All of it will be done in just 2 45-second runs.
I'm super excited. It's been a dream, so I can't believe it's coming true. And a little nervous because it's pretty big, and I just want to do my best and have fun.
In Tempe, Justin Pizzera, 12 News.
Wow, she looks like a natural, and we wish her the very best. Again, the Paris Olympics begin July 26th on NBC. 12 News, of course, is your official Olympic station. And 12 News journalist Tram Mai will be covering the games live from the City of Lights in just a few weeks.
It's still ahead tonight. All eyes on the first presidential debate, how the candidates responded to the most important issues facing Arizona voters.
Jade Carey is bringing a gold medal back to Arizona.
Jagger Eaton has done it.
What a moment for Kennedy Blades.
Medal-winning jump by the Mountain Point alum. Welcome back, everyone. The first presidential debate is now behind us as American voters heard directly from both President Biden and former President Trump.
The high-stakes debate was hosted by CNN in Atlanta. The candidates spent roughly 90 minutes sparring over many different issues. We heard both candidates address everything from foreign policy to the economy to national security.
We're tracking reaction from the presidential debate all across the state tonight. Republican candidate for U.S. Senate Kari Lake took to X saying, Joe Biden is the worst president of all time. He's a train wreck. President Trump's policies gave us historic peace and prosperity, and they will again.
Meanwhile, Tucson Mayor Regina Romero wrote during the debate, quote, our democracy is on the line. We must protect our values, our rights, and our future by voting for Joe Biden. Tonight, we wanted to hear from what people here in the Valley are dealing with.
12 News journalist Chase Golightly spent the day talking with folks about the struggles they're enduring and the changes that they want to see.
We spoke with folks right here in downtown Glendale. And while the people here are unique, what they're going through can be felt throughout the entire valley.
It's a simple question. What's going on in your life? With all different answers. For Jarrell Smith, he's getting ready for a life-changing event.
I got a baby on the way.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Boy or girl?
Boy.
Wow.
November 21st.
Wow, how excited. How do you feel about it?
I feel good. It's going to be a good time.
That means getting everything ready for his baby boy.
I've been reading books. I've been trying to make sure everything's going as planned for the baby's mother, my girlfriend. I mean, aside from that, I'm just picking up clothes here and there, trying to find a cheaper crib. I don't want to spend crazy money on it.
Because Smith says he's already paying more for everyday needs.
For sure, and rent, groceries too.
Putting in a lot of hours to provide for his family.
I definitely got to have a little bit of a side hustle here and there.
Issues felt throughout the valley for all ages. How's life going for you?
Well, because I've been at the same job for so long, it's going okay, but it's not getting better. It's just crazy. Economically, it's very, very hard to make ends meet.
Rudy Valenzuela is a civil engineer. And even though he's worked for the past 43 years, it's becoming a struggle to get by. Is it, grocery prices going up? Is it rent?
It's all of that and more.
Including medications he needs.
Are just going up almost exponentially.
Forcing him to only spend money on essentials. And businesses are feeling it.
It's been kind of slow down here.
Including Clint Newsom, who owns a fashion boutique in downtown Glendale. He hears what his customers are going through.
They say the economy's bad and they're trying to make ends meet and things like that. And they don't have a lot of money to spend on extras.
He isn't immune to the changes either.
Everything's gone up in price. I have to pass it on to my consumer. I don't like doing it. I try to do it as less as possible.
Paying more just to live is hurting everyone differently. For Susie James and her family, it's left them on the streets.
There's no shelters available for families, especially military families.
She tells me they were evicted back in April because she just couldn't afford rent anymore. Trying to find somewhere else now, she says, is impossible.
It's completely insane. A 2-bedroom is running the same price as a 4-bedroom a few years ago.
At the same time, she's recovering from drug addiction, a battle she intends on not losing.
Because I don't want to lose my babies. I don't. I'm doing everything for them.
Would you say that's what's helping you power through?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All walks of life, facing challenges countless others are also going through. But even when times seem dark, they persevere.
There's light at that end of the tunnel.
That a positive change will come.
Hopeful that it will get better.
That's all I can ask for and pray for.
And everyone we spoke with today told me they hope that positive change comes sooner rather than later. We're in downtown Glendale. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
All right, Chase, thanks. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been asking for you to tell us what you think the most important issues are this November. Well, we asked and you delivered. Thank you. We got hundreds of responses. 12 News journalist William Pitts has a look at how the candidates tackled those issues during the debate tonight.
We asked you what your top 3 issues for the 2024 election were. Here's what you said. More people answered the future of democracy in their top 3 than any other choice. Next, reproductive rights in the top 3 most important, followed by the economy. But let's start with the future of democracy. This one came up early in the debate, and when it came up, the clause came out.
Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation. My retribution is going to be success. But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon. But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office. Joe could be a convicted felon with all of the things that he's done. He's done horrible things. All of the death caused at the border, telling the Ukrainian people that we're going to want $1 billion or you change the prosecutor. Otherwise, you're not getting $1 billion. If I ever said that, that's quid pro quo. That we're not going to do anything. We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you change your prosecutor having to do with the son. This man is a criminal. This man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did nothing wrong. We'd have a system that was rigged and disgusting. I did nothing wrong.
The idea that I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. It's simply a lie, number one. Number two, the idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong. It's simply wrong. No president's ever spoken like that before. No president in our history has spoken like that before. Number three, the crimes that you are still charged with, and think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant? I mean, what are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
That was by far our top issue. The second most popular choice, reproductive rights, abortion. And that came up in the debates as well, on the same day that the Supreme Court allowed emergency abortions in Idaho.
I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it. And if you look at this whole question that you're asking, complex but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives. Everybody wanted it back, religious leaders. And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade.
For 51 years, that was the law. 51 years, constitutional scholarship said it was the right way to go. 51 years, and it was taken away because this guy put very conservative members on the Supreme Court. He takes credit for taking it away. What's he going to do? What's he going to do, in fact, if the MAGA Republicans, he gets elected, and the MAGA Republicans control the Congress, and they pass a universal ban on abortion, period, across the board at 6 weeks or 7 or 8 or 10 weeks, something very, very conservative. Is he going to sign that bill? I'll veto it. He'll sign it.
Issue number 3, the economy. It may have been third in our survey, but it was first in the debate. Prices are higher than they used to be. People want to know what's being done about it.
And we're going to make sure that we reduce the price of housing. We're going to make sure we build 2 million new units. We're going to make sure we cap rents so corporate greed can't take over. The combination, what I was left with in corporate greed, is the reason why we're in this problem right now.
The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce-back jobs, a bounce-back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
In addition to the top 3 issues, we also asked our viewers what is the single most important issue of the 2024 election. And by far, they said the future of democracy. 599 people put that as the top issue. Now, it's also worth noting, we didn't say what future of democracy actually meant. We left that up to our viewers on both sides of the aisle to figure that out. William Pitts, 12 News.
All right, well, thank you. Still ahead, some moisture is making its way into the valley ahead of the 4th of July, but will any rain impact your plans? Lindsay Riley is coming up next with your weather impact forecast.